Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press on January 6, 2014. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspapers, posted on public bulletin boards, and the Township website.
At this time, I'll ask everyone to please turn off their cell phones. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Mumalo.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Here.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes, here.
President Leidecker.
Here. At this time, I'm going to ask everyone to stand for our salute to the flag and remain standing for our moment of silence. I'd like to ask our Junior Girl Scout Troop number 1312 to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. When you're ready, ladies. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, thank you, ladies, for coming in. We appreciate it. At this time, we'll approve the minutes of the April 1st, 2014 meeting. Motion and second, please.
Make a motion?
Second. It's gonna be one of those nights, huh? Motion made by Council Vice President Bosman, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we have a few presentations. And for presentation 1 and 2 for Older Americans Month and Town Hall Volunteer Recognition Program, I'd like to give the floor to Councilwoman Pontarero.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to ask Angela Hibbert, Robert Meyer, and Krista Grev to please step forward. Don't leave me alone. Stand here so that the camera can see your pretty face. Okay? What we're doing here tonight is acknowledging Older Americans Month, which is the month of May. Back in 1963, President Kennedy first designated Senior Citizens Day. As time went on in 1980, President Carter then renamed Senior Citizens Day to Older Americans Month. So that's what we're celebrating here today. This is the month that we recognize older persons for their contributions that they made throughout the course of the span of their lives. These are the people who have shaped our country and our world. These are the people who pioneered new industries. They developed businesses, built our towns. They were the people who were trendsetters in communities, building programs that have lasted generations and generations, like Angela Hibbert and like Krista Grev. These are the people who have defended our country, like Bob Meyer. With their invaluable experience, the seniors continue to be an integral part of our community, particularly here in Brick. They have the unique perspectives on how to address challenges that only experience can give, and they serve as role models to our youth. As vital members of our community, they dispense the resources and give the information they're entitled to. They need to have the information so they continue to thrive. Part of the theme for this month is Safe Today, Healthy Tomorrow. The seniors who will be accepting the proclamation tonight and the resolution are some of our finest representatives of what it means to be a contributing member of society. They each work with the mayor and I on the mayor's senior advisory board. They put in a lot of work and hard effort and volunteering and ask for nothing in return. This year, with the help of these individuals and the rest of our senior advisory committee, we've been able to bring together local charities who provide services for seniors and get them to have a program so that our citizens can find out what resources they may avail themselves of. Through our senior advisory committee, we are working on bylaw reformation to assist other citizens in creating bylaws that best serve their interest in their developments. They've also been working to begin a senior citizen fire prevention and safety presentation, specifically geared to keeping seniors safe. I believe that program is in June. We're also working on increasing computer technology access to our seniors to give them the same capabilities that everyone else in the modern age has and needs in order to make the best decisions that they can make in regard to their health, safety, and well-being. They've also helped us establish a free program through our volunteer EMS to come out to senior communities as well as to our citizens here in Town Hall, offering free CPR training. As part of the celebration of this month and celebrating older Americans, we're going to be placing several links on the Senior Services website, the Township website. We'll be placing links for the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which has valuable information for reducing risk factors for injuries and prevention strategies for preventing injuries, which are a leading cause of death for seniors. Also, links are going to be posted from the Administration for Community Living, which also provides safety tips. It is my honor, my privilege, and my joy to work with my seniors here in Brick, and they know that they are my heart. So with that, I would like to read the resolution. Whereas the month of May 2014 has been designated throughout the nation as Older Americans Month, and whereas Brick Township has a sizable population of older Americans with more than 18,000 residents over the age of 60. Whereas the theme for this year's observation is Safe Today, Healthy Tomorrow, which focuses attention on injury prevention, and whereas the Township of Brick provides its seniors with the senior services and recreational programming and is committed to helping all individuals live longer, healthier lives. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey as follows. We hereby urge all citizens to join us in celebrating Older Americans Month and both recognizing and celebrating the contributions of our older generations. We further urge all citizens to make a commitment to this year's theme by working together to improve older Americans' overall quality of life while also focusing on injury prevention. I'd like to present the first one to Angela Hibbert. It's almost like being with a celebrity when I stand next to you. To Mr. Robert Meyer, one of our esteemed veterans, and your service to this country is so greatly appreciated. God bless you. And the third is to Krista Grev, who has overcome a very serious illness in the recent months and has bounced back remarkably and has been in full attendance for our Senior Advisory Committee with new ideas and an invigorating response that people half her age don't have.
seniors of Brick Township have made countless contributions and sacrifices to make all of our lives better and the lives of all future generations better. We recognize the value and want to promote our senior citizens and the way they commit their time and energy to our lives and have done so over so many years. Brick Township is committed to helping our seniors by way of our recreational programming, as well as our programs that Councilwoman Pontorero has elegantly spoken about. And therefore, the seniors of Brick and the people who serve and support them deserve recognition for their contributions and that they have made and will continue to make to the culture, economy, and the character of our community and our nation. And therefore, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2014 to be Older Americans Month. And I have a proclamation.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. And Robert, if you need a ride home, the offer's still available. Next, we're going to be recognizing some volunteers who have filled in the gaps of our front desk information desk that you see out front. These are people who came and gave selflessly to help our town continue to function while we had a staff member out. Those persons were Sylvia Pizarres, Marie Sadati, Ann Ferrier, Renata Kupat, and Tina Weingartner. And I'd ask that Sylvia Pizarres, she is here, right? If she stepped forward. Marie Sadati, I know is here. I've seen her come forward. And I understand that Bill Ferrier is going to accept in honor of his wife. So if you could step forward. And unfortunately, Renata Kupat and Tina Weingartner were unable to attend tonight, but they are going to get their resolution in the mail. So with that, I'm going to read this resolution for you. If you guys want to come up this way so that your family can see. Whereas the impact and power of volunteerism is invaluable in meeting the needs of our community, and whereas the Township of Brick relies on dedicated volunteers to support the municipal staff and provide assistance to residents, whereas Renata Kupat, Sylvia Pizarres, Marie Sadati, Tina Weingartner, and Ann Ferrier have provided valuable support to the Township of Brick as volunteers, whereas these individuals are vital members of our community and set an example for other individuals to emulate. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, and State of New Jersey as follows. Number one, we recognize and appreciate the volunteer support provided to the Township of Brick by volunteers Renata Kupat, Sylvia Pizarres, Maria Sidoti, and Tina Weingartner and Ann Ferrier. We further urge all citizens to join us in praising the contribution that these individuals make to our community. And I just wanted to point out all of the individuals who helped us are in fact older Americans. These are the ones who stepped up to the plate. These are the ones who covered our gaps when we needed and expected nothing in return. So I'd like to present the first one to you.
Volunteers generously give their time and talents to improve their community. They're courteous, they're hopeful, they improve the quality of life, and they improve the quality of life for all the residents that have visited Town Hall. Renee Kupat, Sylvia Pizarres, Marie Sidoti, Tina Weingartner and Ann Ferrier have served the Township of Brick admirably as regular volunteers at the municipal complex. We recognize and appreciate the volunteer support provided by these volunteers and applaud the example that they set for all of our residents here in Brick Township. There's a number of times where I didn't bring my key pass and they were able to buzz me so I can get in the back. If they weren't sitting there, I wouldn't be able to get to the back room. So because of that, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of Brick in the County of Ocean in the state of New Jersey, in honor of their continued commitment and volunteerism, do hereby proclaim Monday, May 12, 2014, to be Municipal Volunteer Appreciation Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you again so much. Thank you for your service.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. We have another presentation this evening. The Township Council created the Brick Township Historical Preservation Committee in 1998 for the purpose of encouraging, promoting, and preserving the heritage of Brick Township. And at this time, I'd like to bring their members up. We have the chair, Christine Scheiss, and the other members of the Historic Preservation Commission, which is Sally Bukowski-Stoneham, Barbara Novick, and David Fisher, Mary Lou Geslin, and Richard Dyer. If you could please come up to announce the award.
Good evening. On behalf of the Township's Historic Preservation Commission, I'm presenting the 2014 Historic Preservation Award to Alan and Laura Goodall. Mr. and Mrs. Goodall are the current owners of 203 Drum Point Road. The house was constructed in the latter part of the 1800s. The house is T-shaped with a wraparound porch on the west side. It has wood clapboard siding and a gabled roof, giving it a Queen Anne style. In addition to the age of the property is historically significant based on the following. One of the earliest owners of 203 Drum Point Road was Abraham Charles Bartlett Havens. Mr. Havens was a teacher at the Burrsville School when he was selected by the Ocean County Republican Party to run for the New Jersey State Senate. Havens won the election of 1880 and served in the State Senate from 1881 to 1883. Following his Senate tenure, Havens served as Ocean County Clerk from 1886 to 1900. Between 1908 and 1938, the house belonged to Alonzo and Ella Osborne Van Note. The Van Notes were cranberry farmers and had their cranberry fields in the Osborneville and Laurelton sections of Brick Township. On the property is the Van Note cranberry sorting shed. It was in this shed where twigs, leaves, and bad berries were removed, and the saleable berries were crated and shipped off to market. Would Mr. and Mrs. Goodall please come up? Mr. Goodall has indicated that he plans on continuing to preserve the property, and in recognition of their efforts, we present you with the 2014 Historic Preservation Award. Congratulations and thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Goodall, your home harkens back to a time when Brick was a simpler community, when it was just one of the many cranberry producers in New Jersey. And because of all the reasons previously stated, your home being the home of Mr. Havens, who was a senator, Senator Havens, as well as the Osbornes, whose cranberry field was where Brick Plaza stands now. For all those reasons, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean, state of New Jersey, in honor of your being awarded the Brick Township Historic Preservation Commission's 2014 Historic Preservation Award, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, next Tuesday, May 13th, 2014, to be Alan and Laura Goodall Day. So congratulations.
Thank you, and I have a resolution from the Township Council, pretty much says the same thing, to reiterate it, but I would like to thank you on behalf of the council and our residents for your commitment to preserving your home and keeping the rich culture of brick alive. Thank you. It's wonderful when we have so many presentations like this honoring so many members of our township. You think you can't be any more proud to be a resident of Brick Township, but every 2 weeks the residents never cease to amaze me. But something special that the council has done to assist in our community over the past few weeks was to participate in a fundraiser at Joe's Crab Shack for autism awareness. We're not going to brag, but the girls did raise a little bit more money than the fellas. But we raised
$800 more.
But we did raise a nice chunk of change between the two groups that we can hopefully make a dent in autism awareness. At this time, I'd like to bring up our Joe's Crab Shack brand ambassadors, Rachel Whalen and John Hall.
Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Whalen.
And I'm John Hall, and like Councilwoman Lidecker said, we are the brand ambassadors for Joe's Crab Shack. So every year we partner up with Autism Speaks, which is the world's largest autism foundation. And this year, company-wide, we raised about $1.3 million. With the help of the council, one team raised $1,016, another team raised $1,809.
Giving us a total of $2,825.60 just from our celebrity bartending that was donated. Overall, our store did raise $12,004 to donate as our participation. At this time, our core values at Joe's is breaking down into passion, respect, integrity, determination, and excellence, which we call pride pins. So at this time, we would like to give each of the councilwomen a pride pin for their participation in our fundraising.
And for raising the most, then yes, $800 more than the men. So another thing is we do have another fundraiser for No Kid Hungry in September, so the men can come back and try to beat the women. Raise their own pride pin. But once again, thank you for the council and the mayor for coming out and helping support Joe's Crab Shack, which is a local business as well as Autism Speaks.
It's all you, Andrew.
Good evening. This evening, I have the pleasure on behalf of the Brick Council of presenting a resolution to our young men of the Brick Township High School wrestling team. From recreation youth wrestling to middle school, to the middle school program, to the high school, these young men and their peers have dedicated countless hours to refining their skills and getting to the top of their game, as their season has evidenced. The Brick Township wrestling team finished the season in the Star Ledger Top 20 after winning its second consecutive Central Jersey Group 3 title. The team reached its first Group 3 final by defeating Roxbury 37-25 in the semifinals, where it won 5 of the last 6 bouts. The team also had 4 wrestlers in top 30 victories this season: Daniel Ratcliffe, Kyle Watasek, Dean Sherry, and Will Scott. Whereas the Brick Township High School Green Dragons wrestling team has become one of the most successful at the Jersey Shore, and whereas on February 14th, 2014, the Green Dragons wrestling team captured their school's 3rd NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3 title by defeating the Wrestlers of Ocean High School, whereas the Green Dragons defeated Roxbury High School in the Group 3 semifinals and faced Clearview High School in the group final, and whereas the Green Dragons, who were coached most ably by Ocean County Coach of the Year, Matt Opacity, finished their outstanding season with a record of 9-6 and a top 20 ranking in the Star Ledger's list of top high school wrestling teams. I'd like to ask the members of the Brick Township High School wrestling team to please come forward. Whereas the members of the 2013-2014 NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3 champion Green Dragons are Daniel Ratcliffe, Billy Breen, Kyle Marino, Thomas Wright, David Santiago, Connor Mulligan, Anthony Costanza, Thomas Costanza, Zach Botnick, Jack McCafferty, Nick Wojtasek, and I asked you too, I apologize. Nick Wojtasek, Kyle Brown, Danny Marino, Will Scott, Kyle Wojtasek, Nick Pilara, Dante Vega Anfuso, Dean Sherry, Ryan Yakim, Anthony Resignolo, Ray Fataruso, Jack Yakim, Vinny Paparo, John Cantarello, Kevin Talmasello, and Anthony Trapasso. Now therefore be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, and State of New Jersey as follows. We extend our highest congratulations to the Brick Township High School Green Dragons wrestling team and head coach Matt Opacity on their outstanding season, which culminated in them capturing their third NJSI Central Jersey Group 3 championship.
When you walk around the hallways of Brick Township High School, you see that there's been much success there in terms of interscholastic athletics. You see many trophies, plaques, awards, all throughout the high school. And these gentlemen that you see here are going to be adding their own banner to that illustrious collection. So, in honor of them being the NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3 state champions, I, John G. Ducey, the mayor of the Township of Brick and the County of Ocean and the State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May 7th, 2014, to be Brick Township High School Wrestling Team Day. And so you guys don't have to run laps or anything on that particular day. So tomorrow you're off the hook for running laps. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank the town council as well as the mayor for inviting us here this evening. There's a couple folks I would like to thank. Of course, the Township of Brick for helping us, supporting us through the whole year. Our school principal, Mr. Dennis Philippone. Our athletic director, Rick Hanchin, as well as his secretary, Margaret Redden, who does a great job for us throughout the year. Our trainer, Jim Barber. And of course, my assistant coaches, Coach Mike Berardinelli, Coach Matt Santoro, Coach Kyle Watson, Kevin Sinkerek, John Fitzgibbons, as well as Coach Joe Lindenbaum. But again, I want to thank everybody for having us here this evening, and I want to thank the parents for actually bringing the student athletes here as well tonight. Thank you very much.
Jim, do you need this back?
Okay. At this time, we'll continue with our municipal budget hearing. I will entertain a motion to suspend the regular order of business to accommodate the budget hearing.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Councilwoman DeYoung, seconded by Councilman Moore. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes.
Madam President, this is the time fixed for the public hearing on the 2014 municipal budget. The budget was introduced by the governing body on April 1st, 2014. It was advertised in the Asbury Park Press on April 25th, 2014, together with this notice of hearing for May 6, 2014 at this time.
Thank you. Anyone who has not secured a copy of the budget may do so at this time. Copies are in the back on the table and at the council table up front, I believe. Everyone has a copy? Okay. Before opening this public hearing, I wish to outline the procedure. Each person desiring to be heard will raise their hand, wait to be recognized, and come forward to the microphone, give his or her name and address before speaking. I will recognize one speaker at a time. Please address all questions to the chair, which is myself. When necessary, they will be referred to the individuals of the governing body, the municipal officials, or our advisors. Questions must be confined solely to the municipal budget before us, not the county budget nor the school budget. The 2014 township budget will not be adopted tonight due to the fact that the status of an essential services grant that was applied for is still unknown for tonight's meeting. Our chief financial officer will further clarify the situation with the timing of this grant process. Mr. Pizarris?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. The township applied for a $3.75 million essential services grant to assist us with transitioning from the effects of Hurricane Sandy until we start getting ratables back on the books and homes are repaired. The disposition of that grant, as you had mentioned, has not been determined yet by the Division of Local Government Services because it requires an appropriation from Congress, and that appropriation from Congress can take place between the time we had introduced the budget all the way into the end of May. So it was, we got a call from the Division of Local Government Services telling us that we could not adopt the budget tonight because they couldn't tell us whether or not we were going to get the grant or not get the grant. So that's why we're going to have an adjournment of the hearing at the end of the public comments, and then it'll be reopened the second meeting of June, where we should have a disposition of that grant. And we may or may not have to have an amendment to the budget, and in the case of having an amendment, it may be an advertisable amendment, in which case we'll have to have a budget on that advertised amendment as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pizarris. I now declare the budget hearing open on the 2014 municipal budget. Does anyone from the public wish to address our advisors, our professionals? I'm going to make this very easy for us. Anyone from the council have questions about the essential services grant or about the budget themselves?
Yeah, there was a question out there.
Oh,
There's a hand.
Right.
oh yes, Mr. Miser, please come forward.
Sorry, Madam President.
Thank you.
I'll try and make it short and sweet. Somehow, in your infinite wisdom, you chose me to do the Citizens Budget Advisory Board for 2011, 2012, and then at the last minute, we did 2013. Now, I'm not a smart guy, but I ran the New Jersey division of a big company. $40 million a year was our annual sales. But I do like to get people to work for me. The list of people that you sent me for our Budget Advisory Board, where they were all notified either by phone or by email, that list is broken down to 3 people plus myself.
Okay.
So if there were people that sent information in to the council that they'd like to be on a different board or a commission, are interested in what the budget looks like in this town, should step up to the plate. Because I don't think 3 people should make decisions to the council as what we think the budget, which way it should go. I talked to Scott Pizarros the other day. He gave me some information. Our next meeting is next Thursday. Our final meeting, we'll get together with Scott and give him our recommendations. And I appreciate the fact that over the past 2 or 3 years, you did take some of our recommendations. We had some short-term recommendations and long-term recommendations. But we need to get input from the people in town that are the taxpayers, the people whose this budget is going to affect. Last year, I said we need to have a tax increase. After Sandy, we lost that revenue, and I'm sure another tax increase is going to come this year, but we haven't finished our budget review yet. And I just want to let you know that 3 people shouldn't make recommendations. It should be a joint effort.
Thank you for bringing that to our whole attention. A few of those people have reached out to me saying that they were not available at the times that the meetings were set or for personal reasons. So we are working on getting more people on there. We're going to pass letters, and some people have come forward this year that has shown interest. So we'll have a few more people coming your way.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
them contact me. Our next meeting is next Thursday night, or this Thursday night, I'm sorry.
This Thursday
Yeah.
coming up? Okay. Any other members from the public wish to be heard this evening on the 2014 municipal budget? Okay. Thank you, Councilman. I appreciate that. Okay, observing no further questions from the floor, I entertain a motion to adjourn the budget hearing until June 24th, 7
Make a
p.m.
motion.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Momolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Vice President Posner?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Fallon, Mr. Pizarros, for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Resolution 1, Older Americans Month, and Resolution 2, recognize Town Hall volunteers. Thank you for your lovely presentation earlier, Councilwoman. 5.3, recognize Historic Preservation Award for the Goodall House. 5.4, recognize the Brick Township High School Boys Wrestling Team. Great job. Great job on preserving our homes in Brick. And, you know, every 2 weeks we are recognizing some team in Brick Township for their achievements. So. 5.5, recognize Paint the Town Pink in May. Everyone probably sees the councils wearing pink. We have pink ribbons all around town. Last month we had a woman come in and give a presentation about it. But what this is a community-wide effort that was started by Meridian Health to raise awareness of the importance of annual mammograms for women. 5.6, recognize Brick Township High School Wall of Fame inductees 2014, and I'd like Councilwoman Zapsik to explain this.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution recognizes the 2014 Brick Township High School Wall of Fame inductees, who are Donovan Brown, Stephen Philippone, Bill Lloyd, and Peter Panuska. The purpose of the Brick Township High School Wall of Fame, created in 2004, is to provide the school and honors to promote pride in the school and honor graduates or those affiliated with the school for outstanding achievements or noteworthy service. The Wall of Fame also preserves contributions by exceptional individuals contributing to the school's legacy. There will be a dinner held on May 14th at the Crystal Point in honor of Donovan Brown, Stephen Philippone, Bill Lloyd, and Peter Panuska, and the proceeds of the dinner benefit the annual Wall of Fame Scholarship Fund.
Thank you very much. Resolution 7, authorize emergency temporary appropriations. Business Administrator?
Yes, this is standard operating procedure, which we have to do to cover our bills until our budget is adopted and in place.
Thank you very much. Resolution 8, authorize application Bulletproof Vest Program. Monies are available through the United States Department of Justice through the Bulletproof Vest Program here in town. We would like to apply for a $37,950 grant, and I believe that none of our tax dollars goes towards the bulletproof vests. We do a fundraiser and then we have the grants, right? Thank you. 5.9, authorize receipt of bids, reconstruction of various roads on the barrier
Council President,
island.
just
Yes.
The Rotary does the big fundraiser for the.
Right, we don't
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
I just happen
give
to go
credit.
every year. Yes, the Rotary does an amazing job every year for that program. Again, 5.9, authorize receipt of bids for the reconstruction of various roads on the barrier island. The roads would be covered in Duval Beach, Cooper Drive, West, 9th Avenue, Jeanette Drive, and Sunset Boulevard. It's projected to cost $420,000. This is permanent work to be reimbursed by FEMA, and I know that our council does have a few questions, such as, it seems like a very low bid, which is something you and I had discussed earlier.
Yes, it did appear low to me as well. I met with our, with 2 engineers today, and also Alyssa is away, so I was able to speak with her. The quantities and all of the data provided in those estimates has been triple-checked, so we feel much more confident that they are accurate. To further clarify, this will be broken out into 2 phases. The first reconstruction phase will be to set up the infrastructure, such as the curbing and the compacted gravel base course that's needed. And then when the homes are done and the utilities installed, the contractor will then come back and do the return for the overlay. But we feel very confident that the estimates will cover the project and that we will be able to get this done in a timely manner.
And that's a 90-10 split by FEMA?
Yes, we have had dialogue with FEMA that these roads would be reimbursable, and they have confirmed that that is the case.
Thank you.
Can I just
Yes.
ask one question? Both phases, Ms. Bergen, are covered by the bid that they put in, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And the bid does not include nighttime work. It is going to be a little bit busy down there. There's appropriate funds in the estimates for cones and other measures as needed, but FEMA will not pay for any nighttime construction.
Thank you. Councilman?
Question, if there is overages on this, will that still be covered by FEMA? That number
There's a
just seems low to
contingency.
me, but I guess it's,
There's an allowable line item, contingency line item, and we have put in for that as part of our construction estimates. The percentage that they approve for contingencies is in there.
Okay, moving on, 5.10, authorized to bid snow plowing services. The Division of Purchasing and Contracting is authorized to advertise to receive bids. For everyone's information, our current contract is due to expire July 18th of 2014. This was a 3-year contract with a total cost for this service of $877,520.71. We want to go out to bid early. We understand it's not even summertime, but we do need to get these contractors lined up before another municipality does. The bid is broken down into 8 categories: trucks under 20,000 pounds, front-end loaders, graders, backhoes, bobcats, all of the equipment that you would need to plow our streets. Awards will be made to a primary contractor offering the lowest price per hour in each category, and secondary contracts will be awarded to all other bidders as a backup in ascending order. Any questions on the snow plows? Okay. 5.11, authorize award of bid for computer and printer supplies. And I'd like to ask our township attorney, we do have a tie on this, so we do need a coin toss.
That is correct, Council President. We have, this is for computer and printer supplies. This is an award of bid. There were 6 bids submitted, and you're right, believe it or not, of those 6, there were 2 that were the low bidder, and they were in a tie. The procedure the township uses to resolve that tie is literally to flip a coin. And we do that here in the public session so that there's complete transparency. Everyone sees how we do it. It'll be on television, and I understand that in discussions with the council president that you'd actually like to select a member of the public to flip the coin, which I think is an excellent idea. What we are going to do is going to ask the township clerk to assign heads to one of the bidders and tails to the other. The 2 bidders that are in the tie are Office Needs from Clark, New Jersey, and The Treehouse from Norwood, Massachusetts. So if you would like to ask a member of the public to come up, and we will flip a coin, and we will see if who wins the toss.
Okay.
I've just been told that you're right. There are 3 items at issue, but they are actually all the same amount. So I think I'd recommend just one coin flip for that award.
Okay. There's 3 for the same piece,
There are 3 items. They are all the
Yep.
same amount for. In other words, they're all tied on each level.
Mm-hmm.
They're all toner. They're different color toners.
They're different color inks.
Flip
There's-
twice?
No.
Well, no, there's 3 items, but they're all from the same bidder. So
Oh, I understand what you mean. Okay. Nan, Miss Call, you're the closest. Would you mind coming and flipping our coin? I would appreciate it. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
You have a coin?
Do you have a coin?
Yes, I actually have a bicentennial quarter.
Nice.
Ms. Collier, I'm first going to ask the clerk which one is heads and which one is tails.
Office Needs will be heads and the Treehouse will be tails.
I'm asking you to flip it and let it fall on the floor so everyone can see it, because our township clerk can't.
Go Nan.
The Super Bowl of ink nights.
That was a
There you go.
very good flip.
Call it. Nah?
Call it.
It is.
Yeah,
All right.
so that would be Office
Well done.
Needs.
Thank you.
There you go, Captain.
Office Needs.
That's right, so office needs will be the one you bid on.
Okay. So on April 15th, the Township Council awarded contract for managed print services. The only item that will be ordered during this contract period will be those supplies to supplement the printers and not the managed print service contract. This bid includes items for PC components, fax machines, and other computer-related accessories. This current contract was for 1 year, which expired on January 22nd, 2014. We have solicited and received an extension to the current contract. Today, we have spent approximately $35,500 to maintain our computer system. And the winning bids go to KT's Office Service, Ribbons Express, WB Mason, Office Needs, The Office Pal, and The Treehouse. It will be a 1-year contract from May 7th, 2014 to May 6th, 2015. 512, authorize award of rebid for the Windward Beach Playground improvements. We received bids on May 1st. The consulting engineer has recommended the bid to go to TC Landscape Construction of 729 Main Street, Toms River, in the amount of $187,675. 513, authorize change order number 1 for public safety uniforms. This is a 2-year contract. What happened was the rain jacket that was previously ordered under this contract is no longer carried, but they do have a good replacement for it, and it's actually about about $15 cheaper, going from $70 to $57. Yes, that's a good change. Same company. 514, authorize acceptance of alternative support apparatus and trailer. The University Hospital wishes to offer these assets to Brick Township Police EMS as a grant recipient, and we are receiving 1 alternative support apparatus with related patient care equipment and 1 18-foot enclosed trailer. Resolution 15, authorize participation in the 2014 multi-jurisdictional all-hazard mitigation plan for Ocean County. We are actually holding this as a council. The plan is very extensive. It's a lot of information, and the council is still reviewing it. So this will be on the next agenda, which I believe is the 20th. Resolution 16, authorize amnesty program for building department permits and inspections, and I would ask the mayor to address this, please.
Thank you very much. A number of homes have been renovated over the last few years, both pre and post Sandy, without getting the proper permits and inspections done from the Township Building Department, because they're the ones who authorize the permits and have the inspections done. And the proper permits and inspections are important because without them, There could be unsafe construction, which would compromise the safety of the residents. So what we're going to do is for the month of June, we're going to implement an amnesty program for the entire month of June. So it gives a window of opportunity to all residents to come in and obtain permits and inspections for completed construction, and there won't be any fines or any penalties at all for coming in the month of June. It's for all residential zones of R3 and R5. So it's not commercial, but it's all residential. R3 and R5 zones, which is the homes, if you rent a home, apartments, all those things come in. It's an amnesty, a full month from June 1st all the way to June 30th to 14. You come in, you obtain your permit, and the inspections will be done. As long as you come in and you apply for your permit in that 1 month period, even if the inspections aren't done, you're still safe from the fines and all the penalties. So it really gives an opportunity to make sure that any work that was done in your home, either by yourself or by a contractor, make sure it's safe so that there's not a fire or water damage. I mean, there's a number of things that could happen if work was not done properly, and you won't know that without an inspection. You can come in during business hours down to the building department the entire month, starting June 1st, going all the way to June 30th. But if you can't make it during regular business hours, we have a Mayor's Inn night on June 17th. It's right across the hall from the courtroom over in the council AB room. And that's from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, it's going to be down the stairs. June 17th, we're going to have it down the stairs in the building department. Because if you can't make it during business hours because you have a job and you can't make it here, June 17th from 6 o'clock until the last person leaves, we will be conducting those permit applications down the stairs in the building department. And it's also a Mayor's Inn night if you want to come and talk to me about any other issues in town. But it's a good program. Please take advantage of it. Have your home be safe so that all the residents, your next door neighbors, everybody can be safe, and we know that everything's inspected. And there's no fines, no penalties. We're not going to hold it against you. So please come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is a very valuable program, and I think many of our residents will appreciate it. And thank you for keeping the Land Use Department open on June 17th from 6 o'clock on, so our residents that have nighttime hours can get out and take care of their permits. Resolution 17 prohibits smoking at Summerfest and Kids Night Out events. We wish to promote and enhance a healthy, safe environment, of course, by ensuring that it's safe for all of our individuals, especially children, by prohibiting smoking at Windward Beach and the park areas during these events. So there will be no smoking at Windward Beach and park area in 2014 on July 3rd, July 17th, August 5th, and August 14th. Resolution 18, authorized suspension of noise ordinance for the Relay for Life event at Brick Township High School. We did have a presentation 2 weeks ago about the Relay for Life program, so hopefully everyone is aware of it. But the American Cancer Society is hosting the Relay for Life at Brick Township High School on May 30th and the 31st. And we realize that there's going to be loudspeakers and such, so they need a break from the noise ordinance for that. Is there any questions about that? 519, authorized special events permit for the Zumba fundraiser at Anytime Fitness. The special event is happening at Anytime Fitness, 34 Lanes Mills Road here in Brick, and they want to conduct a Zumba fundraiser for cancer on Sunday, May 18th, 2014. It takes place from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Are there any questions? Yes.
Yes,
Councilman.
Council President. This is a fundraiser for cancer. It's for Victoria Brewer. She's 20 years old. She lives in Brick, and she has Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I hope everybody goes out there. It's in the Dorado Shopping Center. They're going to have the area of the parking open, and everybody should stop by and help out a little bit, maybe. They do quite a few fundraisers during the year. They do 3 or 4 of them over there at the Zumba classes there at Anytime Fitness. And the owners are Neil and Susan Zorin. And it's on May 18th. It's a Sunday from 10:30 to 2, and it's in the parking lot. Thank you very much, Council President.
Thank you. Resolution 20, authorized special events permit, small business owners meeting at Welch Farms. The date of this, and I apologize, is I believe for May 10th.
17th.
It's the 17th? I'm sorry. I spilled stuff on my resolution and I don't have it with me, unfortunately. But do you have the information, Mayor?
Yes, it's at the Welsh Farms on Lanes Mill Road. It's May 17th with a rain date of May 24th, between the hours of 1:30 and 6:30, and it's a small business owners meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate you updating me. I have the application and it did say May 10th, but it is revised to be the 17th. Okay, I'll change that on my end. Is there any questions about the special event? Okay. Resolution 21, bond release reductions. Our township engineers notified the township clerk by letter dated April 11, 2014, that there's $130 remaining in the engineer inspection fund from Jeffrey German of Point Pleasant, New Jersey, for block 155.1, lot 17. And the township engineer is recommending that we return the $130 remaining in the engineering inspection fund because they are complete with their projects. Resolution 22A, tax collector. The tax collector is advising the township council that the 100% disabled vets has been granted on 16 Glen Road to Dennis Kiselica in the amount of $2,749.14. The tax collector is advising the council that there are overpayments for taxes in the year 2012 for 759 Marlborough Ave in the amount of $1,624.88. We have more tax overpayments for the year 2014, 12 May Apple Drive in the amount of $1,174.03, and 73 East Pompano Drive in the amount of $1,683.58. The tax collector of Brick is advising the council that per resolution dated December 3rd, 2013, a refund check for block 378.01 lot 6 was canceled as it was stale dated. That's for 23 Bay Way in the amount of $446. The tax collector for Brick is advising the council that there are overpayments for the year 2012 and 13, also known as 2610 to 3000 Yorktown Boulevard due to state appeals being granted. They changed the assessment and we are giving them back $12,201. That is the end of the consent agenda. Can I please have a motion and a second?
Make a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Council Vice President Fosman, seconded by Councilwoman Zapsik. At this time, I'd like to open to the public for questions on the resolutions on the consent agenda. Mr. Meiser? Is everyone on vacation this week?
I hope this is going to be a short meeting. Frank Miser, 61 Topsail. I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment.
Yes.
On 16, the amnesty for the permits.
Yes.
I stood here in 2008 when we went to Toms River, and my quote was, having our inspectors that live in Brick do the inspections in Brick is like having a home court advantage. The previous council thought that wasn't a good idea. Well, I could put you in a bus and drive you around town and show you jobs that have been done without permits. I'm friendly with a lot of the contractors in town. I meet them at Home Depot or Lowe's at the lumber yard. And there's work going on in town. John, that is the best idea that I've heard for the building department. This amnesty is going to be a good thing, because the guys that we've rehired back are in town all the time, and they report all the work that's done without permits, and they get caught. Great job. Thank you.
Send some invitations to those contractors to tell them to come in between June 1st and June 30th.
Okay, any further questions or comments from the public? From the council? Okay, seeing none, I will ask for a roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes.
Moving on to bill resolutions, computer 2014.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $19,530,680.25.
Thank you. Motion and second.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Councilman Morris, seconded by Councilwoman Pontorero. At this time, I'd like to open to the public for questions on the computer bill resolution 2014.
Councilwoman, I have.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about, I see we have a bill on here for about $3,700 in attorney fees for disciplinary matter for Juan Ballou. Mr. Starkey, in the event of a favorable outcome for this, will the town be able to get those attorney fees back?
That will be in the discretion of the court, but I can tell you, we will be vigorously pursuing that option. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Any further questions, Councilwoman? Go ahead, knock them all out.
Page 25, the JCP&L. I see that we spend about $60,000 in street lighting and traffic signals. What would be our savings? I know it would cost more upfront if we had switched everything over to LEDs. How much would we be able to save in the long run?
I just went down to the New Jersey Conference of Mayors, and there was a presentation which JCP&L was one of the, the representative of theirs was one of the main speakers, saying that there's a grant program that they would pay, I think it's like $140. The bulbs each are $175 with the fixtures. They would pay about $135 to $140 of each. Through the grant program, and it was actually savings would be, they said, somewhere around 40 to 60% of your electric bill now. And not only that, that's just the cost of the actual electric, but what they said is the installation of the LED bulb would be put in by a worker, and probably by the time that bulb needed to be replaced, that worker would actually be retired and no longer working for the town. So I don't have an exact number based upon the percentages, but it's definitely something that we are going to look into because of, that presentation.
Great. Thank you. Anything else? Any other members of the council? Yes, Councilman Mamala?
Joanne, page 17, under EPE Inc., high wind and flooding event, cleanup debris on North Drive.
This is one contractor that we used during Sandy, and we also we also used him for snow removal. He is, in a case of an emergency, our DPW superintendent has the ability to call in contractors as needed to get us through the emergency. In this particular instance, we had a disconnect with the contractor in terms of getting his invoices and marrying them up to the official authorization from Mr. Campbell to proceed. The name on his invoicing, his company name, didn't match his name, and so there was some confusion on our end, but we have finally straightened it out, so that's the delay for getting on the bill list. But he did indeed do the work as certified by our Department of Public Works.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question.
Yes.
I know last meeting we approved for vehicles for police. I think it was last meeting before. On the page 21, I think it's on 21. It's a police vehicle add-ons. Is that for the new cars?
Yes, all of these under General Sales Administration, there are several charges. All of them are related to outfitting the new vehicles. We bought 8 police vehicles for the police, and each one of those has to be upfitted. So when you do the total for all of those, all of the invoices came to $62,000. You divide it by 8, that's the amount per car to upgrade them from a standard vehicle off the lot to a police vehicle.
Thank you. No more questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the council or from the public? Okay. Seeing none, I will close and ask for roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Abstain on New Jersey Press Media, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Abstain on the MUA and yes to the rest.
President Leidecker.
Yes. Okay, moving on to Bill Resolution Manual 2014.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,269,150.05.
Thank you. Motion and second.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Mumolo, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. I will open to the public. Seeing none, open to council. Okay, I'm going to close and ask for roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Abstain Township payroll, and yes to the rest.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to ordinances on the first reading. Just to reiterate, there are no public comments or hearing on ordinances of the first reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 2, Article 20 of the Township Code of the Township of Brick entitled Special Law Enforcement Officers.
Thank you. I'd like to pass this to the mayor since it is on his 100-day plan.
Thank you. The first ordinance our code allows right now for 15 special police officers, special law enforcement officers, to be part of the police force. And what I'm asking the council to do is amend that from 15 up to 20 as a maximum of special law enforcement officers. The reason why is because in order to help with the overtime issue in the police department, there's two areas where we're going to be able to use special police officers instead of regular police officers. One is outside the courtroom for security for when it's a municipal court day here. The special officers will be wanding the people to make sure no metal objects such as knives, guns, or anything metal makes its way through the door. And rather than have regular police officers who could be on the street and not earning overtime, that position is going to be filled by special officers. And then the other place is back in the booking department. So an officer can make an arrest and be able to basically drop the criminal off here at the station and not have to do the booking himself. He can then get back out on the street. And if it's the end of his shift, he's making that arrest, he doesn't have to create more overtime by having to work the extra hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours in order to do the booking with the fingerprinting and the photographs and all the information. We're going to have special law enforcement officers do that as well. So that's why we need to increase the number of the minimum, of the maximum from 15 to 20 in case we need that amount. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Motion and second.
Make a motion. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Moore, seconded by Council Vice President Fosman. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Mamalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Fosman.
Yes.
President Leidecker.
Yes. And when you're ready.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick so as to replace Chapter 145 entitled Construction Codes Uniform.
Thank you very much. Councilman Vice President Fosman has been working very diligently with the council and the Land Use Department on this, so I would like to give him the floor to explain this ordinance.
Thank you very much, Council President. I'd just like to go back a little bit, a few years, how this all came about and what occurred to come to this point here. And in the fall of 2013, Toms River notified that they will no longer be able to do the shared service in our building department due to the overload of inspections that they have from Superstorm Sandy in their town. The previous administration didn't prepare a new prepare for the future and left the township without any inspectors. As everyone knew, the council wasn't permitted to speak to any of the department heads. Mayor John Ducey stepped in, he hit the ground running, and he quickly assembled his administration to revamp the building department, as everyone knows. by hiring back inspectors on the layoff list and advertising others. In the beginning of 2012, the Business and Finance Committee reviewed the building fees and found that the building department was losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. The last time the fees were reviewed was back in 2005. I formed a subcommittee with Frank Miser and other professionals to compare the building fees from the state and various local townships. In May of 2013, the shared service agreement with Tom's River was about to expire, and a new shared service agreement with a fee adjustment was to occur. Then Superstorm Sandy reared her ugly head in October of 2012 and devastated our town. The council responded to the needs of the people by not charging building fees for months after the storm. Even though we didn't charge, some people didn't come down and get the fees, to get the permits. They had to at least pick up the permits so we can inspect. The fees were going to be waived. But I guess a lot of people misunderstood that and just went ahead and thought that everything didn't need to be inspected. That occurred at that time. And it's been a year and a half of rebuilding, and it's time to keep moving ahead. We have a great administration and council looking out for the township. The new building fees were reviewed by the construction official, as well as the building being approved by the DCA. The building fees were are going to be increased in small increments for 3 years, which coincides with the future building of the township. If you haven't pulled a permit, just like the mayor was discussing before, if you haven't pulled a permit for work you have done on your home, the town is giving the month of June to file a permit with no penalty. After June 30th, 2014, penalties may occur, so it's time. You have the amnesty for a whole month. It's time to get in there and get it done. Permits are good for 2 years. So as long as you're doing work in the house, the permits are good for you 2 years. If you're working on the house 3 months from now, you go down and get the permits now, and you can continue working on your house. And it's good to pick up the permits now because it's at the lower cost as of now. So this month is going to get you in at the lower cost. You can come during the business hours to apply for permits for already completed work, or if you can't make it during the business hours, as the mayor said before, Mayor's Night is on June 17th, 6 o'clock. The mayor and the building department staff will be available, as well as the department heads, to answer any questions and to fill out your permits. So now's the time to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Pontorero, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. Thank you.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Township Code of the Township of Brick so as to amend Chapter 445 entitled Trailers, Section 445-8, to permit temporary storage trailer permits for up to 6 months.
Thank you. The Land Use Committee has been working on this ordinance in part. A few residents had brought to our attention that they were receiving notices about storage trailers on their damaged property, mainly from the Sandy damaged properties. They salvaged what they could out of their homes and got a pod or a trailer to leave on their property for their belongings while their houses were under construction. It is a pretty short addition that we're adding to this ordinance, so I'm just going to read it. That way the people at home that are listening have a good idea of what it is, in case they're one of the people that came to the Land Use Committee with their notice. One minor change is that we are adding or their designee. I'd like to address the township attorney. We wrote or his designee. Dan Newman is our construction code official, but in the future it could be a woman. So if we can change that to their, I would appreciate that.
Certainly.
And then we are adding section H. And it states, the construction official or their designee may authorize a storage trailer to be located on a residential lot for a period up to 6 months, where, in their opinion, the dwelling located on such lot has been damaged or destroyed by natural weather events, the property owner is pursuing the repair or reconstruction of the dwelling, and that such storage trailer is being used for the storage of personal belongings while the property owner pursues repair or reconstruction of the dwelling. The construction official or their designee may authorize the use of such storage trailer on such lot for an additional period of 6 months for up to 2 years, providing that the homeowner has diligently pursued the insurance funding, approval for permitting, and/or construction during such period. The size and location of any such storage trailer shall be subject to the approval of the construction code official or their designee, who, using their discretion, shall attempt to minimize to the maximum extent any interference with the use and enjoyment of residential adjoining such lot. No trailer under this section shall be used for habitation. Motion and second, please.
Make a motion?
Second. Motion made by Council Vice President Fosman, seconded by Councilwoman DeYoung. Roll call, please.
Councilman Moore?
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Yes.
Councilman Momolo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero?
Yes.
Vice President Fosman?
Yes.
President Leidecker?
Yes. And my favorite part, public comments. Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B. Mr. Gross.
Mr. Miser.
Oh, boy.
Richard Gross, 29 Greenbrier Boulevard. For the past 2 years, I've served on the Budget Advisory Committee. And when we're finished, you will be getting a report through Frank Miser, our chairman, and hopefully you'll be able to accept all of them.
I apologize, there's a tube behind that column now, and I think
Oh, okay.
that was set off.
Anyhow, however, one of the things that has bothered me for years now has been the loss of millions of dollars of revenue because of the food town. Now, it's come up and come up, and it's been postponed and reviewed, and I think it's about time that the council and the mayor took affirmative action and get to work on getting it approved and built and taxed. That's my comment, and I hope it happens. Thank you.
Thank you, and we wholeheartedly agree with you, Mr. Gross. The redevelopment committee has been working on that. Did the mayor wish to add any comment to that? I know that we're in discussions with a few, with an idea, but I don't think we can actually speak speak about it due to lawyers. It's all their fault.
Thank you. Starkey. To the lawyers.
Yes, Ms. Call. And thank you very much for your assistance earlier. I'm sure the office team is very happy.
Nan Call, and the real reason I left it to Mr. Starkey to pick the coin up is I can't bend these days. Otherwise, I would have grabbed it and ran out. Not that I'm cheap, I'm just extremely frugal. The reason that I came to the microphone is I became aware last week about the situation with Verizon and the FiOS. And I know that there was recently, I believe that recently you did have a new contract with Comcast. And if so, I'd like to know where I can get the details of that and the previous. Had the contract expired with them? Or did you initiate a new contract before the expiration date?
I'm sure our council secretary would definitely be able to get you copies of those if you'd like to speak with her tomorrow. I'd give her a day or so. She's very busy a day after council.
No.
And if
I'll send her an email
Joanne
and it
would
can be
like
done that
to
way.
address the contract.
Councilman Mumolo had asked me to check into this at a previous meeting, and we have a 25-year lease with Comcast, and we are in the third year of that lease at this time. That contract includes a grant to the township for $150,000, which we are using for upgrades to our IT communication equipment, such as the system that is in use here in the courtroom, and upgrades and maintenance to our website and other software upgrades, such as a seamless document program that we are investing in to make it easier for residents to fill out forms and applications and so forth, all online without having to come in. So that is the update on that. We're in our third year of a 25-year lease at this time.
That seems to be an excessively long term. I do remember when they were 15 years. And my biggest concern is that there's nobody that was here and may not have heard that when they were talking about the world going digital, I had many concerns, especially my elderly people in the communities, which I have a great affection for also. But the biggest thing is Greenbrier 2, Greenbrier 1, both have what I refer to as a closed circuit channel that is within the community. And the town has a closed circuit one within the town. If you don't have Comcast, you can't see what's going on, you can't see the meetings, you don't get the notices from our communities. And back at the time we were going to go digital, Verizon, and you may have known it even if you weren't here, had petitioned the state that they did not want to go to each and every one of the 526 or whatever townships and get permission to put their cable service in. They wanted a blanket agreement for the entire state. Well, I was certainly shocked when I was at a meeting of the Association of Beltel Retirees last Wednesday. They are a grassroots. They got very upset with Verizon in the late 1990s and started this organization, and they had their annual meeting last week. And it was stated that Verizon has met 100% of its commitment. Huh? There was also a gentleman from Jackson community, Greenbrier at Westlake, and he said that they can't have, there's a great number of people in my community, even greater in Jackson, because they have over 2,000 homes in theirs. Mine only has 600. And they want Verizon Fios, especially we retirees from the organization that today is Verizon. And unless every single owner in the community signs an agreement, they won't come in and put the cable in. I frankly think that that's outrageous, and I believe it has been taken to court, is what was said. But I think that they need to be held to doing everybody. The same gentleman from Westlake came to speak with me personally, and he said the 100% commitment is they wired the central office that provides the telephone service for the county seats. So Toms River Central Office, and that's certain number of telephone numbers. My telephone number, I think, actually comes out of the Lakewood Central Office, and it's several different exchanges, like my 202. And I really am very upset to hear that we're not going to be able to have the advantages that other people. And one other thing that, if you would indulge me, I so appreciate the mayor and his, mayor's in night, mayor's out, day, night. But I would like you to consider that maybe quarterly, every 3 months, 3 council members and the mayor hold on an off night the meeting here to generally update us and field questions from us aside from a council meeting. I'm thinking in particular about this problem, about what can be done. And I understand we're not a little town, but we're not big enough to have a lot of clout. However, if we get enough people pounding the pavements, And the other thing is that things like updating us on what is going on with the Parkway, serious discussion that's not limited to 5 minutes. And at that time, perhaps because of the interfacing of the county, have a representative for the county to address. I personally don't know why in a town, almost 80,000, there should be any roads that are designated county or states. I think that we need to have one central person, entity rather, that takes care of it, that being the township. However they work it out with the state and the county, giving some remuneration, but to have to coordinate it, I don't. So I'd like you to consider maybe quarterly having those meetings.
Thank you. That's a good suggestion, and we'll speak with the mayor about that. Yes, Mayor.
Just two things. That BTV is available on Verizon. It's not on DirecTV. I have DirecTV, but it is on the Verizon Fios. But I had an opportunity to speak with the president of Verizon down at the New Jersey Conference of Mayors, and that was the question I asked him: is how come we don't have Fios and Brick? I got the story. As Ms. Call just said, they want, when they went out to do this, they wanted to get a state license. So what happened is, as opposed to negotiating town by town with each municipality. So in order to get the state license, they had to get the Assembly and the Senate on board. What happened is the North and the South had a big battle. The North legislators all said that they wanted the top 60 densely populated towns to get Fios because they're worried about Jersey City, Newark, everything that's up north. And the people in the South said they wanted every county seat to make sure that they got it. And that's the reason why Toms River has it, is because the legislators in the South wanted that. So the agreement was that that would all have to be done by 2017. So they're working on those. It ends up being exactly 70 towns in New Jersey, the 60 densely populated plus 10 county seats. So towns such as Lake Como, for example, which is a tiny, tiny town,
Yeah.
very densely populated because it is so small and with smaller houses, they have Verizon Fios. Where a town like us is so spread out, we're not in that either qualification. Obviously, as you know, we're not the county seat, and we're not in the 60 most densely populated cities in New Jersey. So that's why we don't qualify. They're still working on it. They hope to meet their 2017 deadline, but they're not going anywhere but those 70 places until at least after 2017, which is unfortunate for all of us. So thanks for asking that, because I probably would have forgotten that. But that conversation happened down there at the conference. So thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Spector?
Good evening, Council. I'm Michelle from Evergreen Woods. Yesterday, we had Christy Duffy of the New Jersey TV News came to our community. I don't know if they called, and she was supposed to call the administrator's office. I don't know if she had called you.
Yeah, I spoke with her.
Oh, you spoke to her?
Yeah, and she was happy to hear that I was on board with you guys.
Oh,
Yep.
that's good. What we have now is so we were on the yesterday's news, which was awesome, and the Turnpike Authority had, of course, their parroted response. I'll just read that. It's just a real short thing. The Parkway was a busy road when Evergreen was built. It remains a busy road today. Nothing about the safety project will make it busier, and nothing about the safety project will move the traffic any closer to the homes in Evergreen Woods. For those reasons, the project does not qualify for a sound barrier. Okay. What we have here is we have a sound study that shows that we qualify. I have a copy for that letter to go to the Turnpike Authority, so I can give you this copy. And we actually had the commentator videotape while we were holding up the decibel meter, and it confirmed the readings. Of course, it gets a lot louder than this, but it's been documented, and now was on TV. What we have here with the Parkway is more excuses without explanations, forcing policy proclamations instead of publications, confirming analyses, was there really ever any publication on the efficacy of the basins helping with runoff? That we know of, no. We would like a copy if there is such a thing that exists. So I don't know if we can ask for that, that would be great. And because if they're doing this as an experiment to see if it actually works, then that old adage goes that the operation was a success and the patient died, and that's the death of our community. The peace and quiet we had and healthy community is now gone. Let's see, what was I going to say? The basins weren't necessary because I have on authority, I spoke to a scientist, and actually the natural soil organisms eat any kind of runoff. The mulch, the previous leaf mulch on the woodland floor does a better job of containing pollution. Nitrates are fertilizer for trees and are rapidly drank up. Why Feeney says you can't have trees in basins is ludicrous. I just have something else to say, that there was a 1:30 a.m. construction on Friday night. And so I went through several police stations till I got to the state, and they gave me a lieutenant in the Barracks D in Homedale to voice her complaints to, and he assured me that they would go to the Turnpike Authority. It's like 1:30 in the morning. And bright lights, and you know, with the backing beep up, the what do you call those beeps?
The reverse.
Thank you, beep, whatever they're called. And it was just ridiculous. So needless to say, we didn't really get such great sleep that night. And also, the East Brunswick community for which they got a wall, they did a video. Their councilman actually passed by consent agenda to continue to urge the New Jersey Turnpike Authority to install a wall, and they're actually getting a wall. I don't know if we can do anything like that. If they're coming up with all of these, you know, they're proclaiming all these policies, then where is the science to back it up? We want to see the science, why these things were necessary, and it doesn't seem like that happened, and that the public was informed and was able to comment on that effectively. And then it's just like, okay, too bad, here it is, you got it. And there doesn't seem to be anything to talk them out of what they want to do. They're like a bunch of bullies. So we're going to continue to go to the media and embarrass them. And they're just going to keep coming up with the same thing, so it's going to have to break somewhere along the way. I mean, it's a democracy. It's not a dictatorship where they tell us this is what you have to do, and too bad. I mean, they're telling the people that live here and anybody else, forget about it. So it's just not right. So if you could put in your letter that you're sending with this very strong language, that you're not taking any prisoners, however you're going to word that. It wouldn't be how I would say it exactly, but, to please just put it in a very strong language. We would appreciate it. Thank you.
And what did you say the next meeting was?
I'm sorry?
The next meeting that you're going to?
The next meeting?
She did.
I didn't see
I
it.
thought you said you're going to another meeting.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, in the green shirt?
Hello.
Hello.
My name
you
is.
can raise that up if you like.
I'm sorry?
The microphone, you can raise it.
Kind of tall. My name is Jennifer Santamaria. I currently live at 603 Finchley Drive, and I'm an art teacher full-time, and I've lived in Brick my whole life. I lived in Baybridge Village for the first 20 years of my life, and I've recently moved to Waterside Gardens off of Drum Point Road a few months before Hurricane Sandy. So after Hurricane Sandy, there was an enormous amount of garbage that was just dumped literally on the outskirts of Waterside Gardens. It's unsightly, it's smelly, especially in the summer, and people, when they come to the apartment, they comment about it. It's pretty embarrassing. So I've brought this up to the landlord, and the landlord claims that many people complain about the garbage, and it's not their land, it's Brick's land. It's protected land. It's considered marshland, and I am not allowed to go back there if I want to clean it up myself. It's dangerous. I could accidentally fall back there because it's soft, and it's unsanitary. And because it's protected, I don't feel comfortable really going back there and doing it myself, although I'd be happy to do it. I'm a go-getter person. I don't mind taking on that role, but if there's some kind of team that takes care of the cleanup in Brick, I think it's absolutely imperative that the area surrounding the Barnegat Bay get taken care of since Sandy. And I mean, there's garbage all over Brick, really, that I've noticed, but particularly around this bend, around Finchley Drive, it is so disgusting that you actually cannot see any grass. There are everything from playground parts to boxes, and I have photos to prove it, and I just wanted to make sure that I brought it to somebody's attention. I thought this was a good start for that, and if there's anybody that I could get in touch with about this, I'd be happy to send these pictures. And
Thank
that's
you.
all I wanna
It is a
say.
great start coming here.
Well-
But my question to the mayor and administration is, because it's protected land, would we go through Barnegat Bay, like save Barnegat Bay? Do we have to get our own permit?
We'll take the pictures and see, who owns it, and if we own it, then we'll have our parks guys take a look. And, I don't know if we
just
own it or
finished-
not.
It's a turnoff for people that live there, but it's also, it invites rodents and all kinds of other things. And we get a lot of stray cats and things too, so I just really wanted to bring it up to somebody.
It's a band.
Thank you very much. If you could be so kind as to leave your telephone number with our secretary, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
I don't know if that's part of Foresight over there or not. Probably not, because they just finished the cleanup Foresight.
They did.
So I'm not sure whose it is.
I'm not sure who's.
Okay, Mr. Slunka. I have to let all of our first-timers go first, Mr. Gross. Yeah.
First time.
Hello, Mr.
here
Slunka.
tonight.
First time tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Here's my letter. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Susan Lydecker, all the members of the Brick Township Council, my letter. In Brick, taxes are higher, property values are lower, homeowners are moving out, drugs are sold throughout our schools, and neighborhoods are being destroyed. Brick children are facing environmental risk. Brick property values are being driven down. Brick taxpayers are moving out and renting to unsavory characters, and Brick residents, in reality, are being killed. Is this an exaggeration? Unfortunately, it is not. The New Jersey Turnpike Authoritarians are in charge of the Garden State Parkway and treat the parkway as their own playground. They budget and spend hundreds of millions of dollars and do so at the expense of all of New Jersey's taxpayers and residents. Much like other powerful organizations, they show no regard for residents, that they may be injured, and they may injure them physically, emotionally, and financially, as long as they retain their power through political influence and governmental rules and regulations. Business cohorts make large contributions and are rewarded through huge government contracts, and the merry-go-round continues to churn at the expense of residents. Not many years ago, large tobacco companies advertised their product, and thousands died from lung cancer and emphysema. But because of the political friends those companies had, residents were ignored. Not many years ago, large asbestos companies ruled the construction area, and with their political power, able to garner huge profits and outlandish bonuses, and the citizens suffered through asbestosis, and they died. Today, the Turnpike Authoritarians are doing the same thing. They have used tax dollars to acquire power, and now they are paying back political operatives with huge contracts for parkway construction work, and the residents, again, suffer. The residents suffer through excessive noise from widening projects that now bring the noise of 300,000 vehicles into the bedrooms of Brick Township residents every day. The residents suffer from lung ailments such as emphysema and lung cancer from the air pollutants being showered on residents of Brick Township 24 hours a day. Children of the area are developing hearing problems. Ask the teachers in school. Worsening asthma attacks. Ask the doctors in the neighborhood. And severe allergies. Again, doctors will tell you that. And the authoritarians of the Turnpike just received promotions, bonuses, and of course, those financial donations. According to the American Lung Association, studies have linked air pollution to lung cancer, worsening asthma attacks, heart attack, stroke, and even early deaths of our older American citizens of Brick Township. Motor vehicle emissions present immediate, long-lasting threats to public health. Smog and fine particle emissions generated by the combustion of petroleum fuels cause immediate and lifelong respiratory impacts, while greenhouse gases emitted today will continue to threaten respiratory health for generations to come. For their mental well-being and financial stability, homeowners, due to the lowering of these housing values, cannot sell their homes, so they move out. Some abandon their houses, destroying neighborhoods. And others just move because they try to save their family's health and well-being. They move out and rent to people who shouldn't be renting in our neighborhoods. And meanwhile, the Turnpike Authority knows all this is happening, but they sit in their ivory towers in Woodbridge and only care about the dollars received from their friends as a reward for contracts that allow them to kill hundreds of people a year. New Jersey has the largest autistic population, and it's undoubtedly partially resulting from environmental factors forced upon the citizens by big government agencies like the Turnpike Authority. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court, Evergreen Woods. Thanks for your time, everybody.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am?
Just wanted to
Ma'am, I need
Lennis
you.
Moreno.
Thank you. And you can bring your microphone down too so we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay. I just wanted to reiterate what Michelle had to say. We were on the Mike Snyder show on the 5th. If you want to see the video, you go on to NJTV.org for May 5th, showing the features of Evergreen Woods. The news clip runs about 14 minutes and 50 seconds into that program. Other than we can no longer talk to our neighbors next door in Evergreen Woods without screaming. Virtually, from here to that desk, I cannot be heard, or can I hear my neighbor? It's really that bad. The volume of noise from those roads, since they cleared out all the trees, we could not see from one end of the parkway across to the other. Now it's like everything is open, everything. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Mr. Miser?
I didn't bring this to throw. I don't want to take all the credit. Jim said that he worked with me in regards to the building fees. Well, we actually worked with people from 3 other towns. And for those of you that weren't on the council when I made the presentation, I'm just going to give you a little brief explanation of why I have the orange. Let's just consider that these following towns are all part of like a cooperative. I went to Toms River, Lakewood, Millstone, Jackson, Manalapan, Marlboro, Eatontown, and Brick, and got all their permit fees. Let's just say that we're all part of this cooperative, all these towns. We're told to sell this orange for $1. All of these towns have to sell that orange for $1. The only town that purchased that orange for less than $1 was Manalapan. Jackson, Millstone, Lakewood, they all paid like $1.10, $1.20. Marlboro paid like $1.30 because it's Marlboro. Brick paid $1.53 for that orange, and we're selling it for $1. That's why we need those permit fees changed. And Jim, I hope you put all that information together that you gleaned from all those other towns. And when it comes to public comments, I'll be here to ask you a few questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Got the orange.
Mr. Foster?
Just a quick comment. I just got back from Township Library where they had a woman was giving a presentation on, her name is Holly Smith. She's a victim of she was abducted, and she had a very good book. And just want to bring to everybody's attention if they want to show support for the, it's an anti-human trafficking walk. It's going to be Saturday, May 17th in Atlantic City. And I know it's this is something that, even though it's not being held at Brick Township, it's still something, it's a serious subject. And the presentation that woman gave tonight was very, very, very good. And I just want to bring this to the attention of anybody in the town that is, or anybody that hears this, actually, since we do, the internet and TV does go outside our borders, so to speak. But there's, it's going to be on the 17th of May. And the website that you can get more information about is going to be called anti-human space TRAFFICKING walk. And I just want to bring that to everybody's attention. I don't want to go too much in depth about what you know. I don't know if sex offenders, you know, we want the publicity or anything like that. But I did want to bring this to the attention of township residents in case they want to show support for you know, the victims of human trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gross?
How come everybody in the back has the questions? Nobody up front? That's it.
Richard Gross, two quick things. The mayor, when you spoke to FiOS, is there any reason why only part of Brick has Verizon, not all of it?
He said originally when they were trying to do it, they were trying to promote it in each and every town. But once they got the directive from the state legislators, they stopped, and they will not begin adding any households at all in except for those 70 towns that I mentioned earlier.
Oh, interesting.
So, yes, you're right. Parts of Brick have it. They had it from the beginning.
Right.
But that's when they got the directive from the state legislators to stop and only put it in these 70 towns. And so they did, because they don't have the manpower to get it done, but they think they should be on target. They had to hire extra people in order to meet that 2017 date. But you know how many years they've been working on it, so it's been a long time.
Thank you. Another thing, Frank Miser was supposed to invite any of the councilmen or the mayor to our next Board of Budget Advisory Committee this Thursday at 29 Greenbrier Boulevard at 7 o'clock. If anybody wants to come, be our guest.
Yeah, we don't want to influence that process. We want the citizens to act on their own. That's why, you know,
Exactly.
because if somebody's there, you might, you know, think, you know, listen more. We want to have the citizens' input, definitely. Thanks.
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard this evening? Okay, seeing none, I am going to close public comments and move on to administration, mayor, and council comments. And I ask to begin at the mayor's table, please.
I have nothing additional to add at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank the Girl Scouts, number 1312, for visiting tonight. And they went on a tour of the back offices and my office, and they asked me a lot of important questions, and I appreciate you know, the input that they had tonight. And I told them all to remind me of what movies should be on our next movie series for next year, but they have to tell me in January of 2015. And also for them saying the Pledge of Allegiance. It was a good job. I also want to thank the Cub Scouts Pack number 47. They came and visited the police department. They took them on a tour of the police department and showed them a police cruiser. And then they also went on a tour of the back offices and the mayor's office. And that happened on April 16th. And I want to thank all those boys and their parents for coming out. April 24th was a big day here in Brick. We had the top state official, government official, Governor Christie, here in town. And he held his 120th town hall meeting over at Lake Riviera Middle School. And commendations go out to our police department for, ran a safe event. There was no problems. It was a school day. There were school children present when this event was going on. And also to the school board and all the school personnel. Everybody came together to do a great job. It was a successful event attended by about 400 or 500 people. And then later in the same day, April 24th, we had, I guess you would want to call them the top federal elected position, which is our elder senator, Senator Menendez, was right here also in Brick over at the Civic Plaza as he was hosting a FEMA workshop that deals with the community rating system, which is a part of my 100-day plan to get Brick into that in order to have our flood insurance rates lowered by percentages. And I want to thank both Governor Christie and Senator Menendez for coming to Brick, and it's odd that they were both here on April 24th, but I want to thank all the Recreation Department, Dan Santinello, John Lola, for putting everything together, and the rest of the township staff for all the work that they put in to putting those two events and having them run smoothly and successfully. April 25th was Arbor Day. The Shade Tree Commission and Visitation Relief Center distributed seedling trees to our residents. There are still more available at Visitation Relief Center. Please take advantage of them. They are purchased. They are for Arbor Day, but you can go over there and pick them up anytime. Just go to the front desk and let them know that you want to pick up some trees, and they'll give you as many many as you want. Most people were taking 2 or 3 that day. We had 150 people come out for the trees, but there are more. Also on April 25th, the township hosted our first bingo and lunch for senior citizens. It was hosted by the Recreation Office. It was a great turnout. There were 76 people there. Hampton Ridge was the sponsor, and Robin and Jill from the Hampton Ridge were the actual event coordinators. And we're going to continue to have bingo. It's going to be the 4th Friday of every month through August. So it's May 23rd, June 27th, July 25th, and August 22nd. Come out to Civic Plaza. It starts at 11:45 a.m. I did attend the New Jersey Conference of Mayors on May 1st and 2nd down in Atlantic City, and I had the opportunity to meet with representatives from JCP&L, as we heard earlier tonight, from Verizon earlier tonight, as well as network with a number of mayors from around the state to exchange ideas. And I'm going to touch more at the next meeting about what different seminars I covered there. Rather than take up time here tonight with our budget hearing and all. Our senior citizen prom was Friday night, May 2nd, and it was great. I had the opportunity to present a cake to celebrate Mrs. Tripoldi's 100th birthday, and all the kids from Brick and Brick Memorial do a great job in organizing that, and all the help of the Recreation Department, and I wanted to just thank everybody for making that a successful event. I know some of the council people are going to be talking more on that, so I won't talk too much more about that. Paint the Town Pink Month. It's hosted by Meridian Health to raise the importance of an annual mammography. So please, everybody, support the cause. There's pink ribbons all around Town Hall. A number of us wore pink tonight, and we did pass the resolution. Thank you, Council President, on that issue. Also, May 1st through May 7th is Elks Youth Week. So I did do a proclamation, but they weren't able to come to the meeting, so I just mailed it off to them, to the Brick Elks Lodge 2151, and I just want to make sure that we're recognizing Elks Youth Week. Second to last, please, everybody, sign up for the email alerts. All you have to do to sign up is to send an email to municipalupdate@twp.brick.nj.us with the word subscribe in the subject line. And then you will get pretty much almost daily updates of what's going on in town. You get everything from council agendas to maybe warnings of certain roads that are closed, a lot of recreation programs. There's a lot of information that's given out. So please sign up for those municipal updates. And lastly, I want to wish all the moms a happy Mother's Day, including my wife, Deirdre. So thank you very much.
Good.
Nothing from me, thank you, Council
Okay,
President.
ladies?
I just wanted to remind everybody that next Tuesday, May 13th, is the last day to register to vote for the June 3rd primary, and my office will be open till 7 o'clock that night.
Thank you. Jen, anything for you? All right. Councilman Moore?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It's nice to see everybody. I know we had some time off, so it's always a pleasure to see everybody. To our older Americans, I thank you very much for putting your heart and soul into the town, and God bless each and every one of you. To our Girl Scouts for opening up tonight's meeting. I know they went home early. We chased them out of here, so thank you.
They had homework.
Yeah. The weather's finally getting nice. Thank God for no more snow. Please look twice for our motorcycles out there. Our friends on two-wheelers, let's keep an extra eye out for those guys. Of course, to our moms, including my wife, happy Mother's Day. To my son Bobby, happy birthday. I got a couple things going on. And of course, to our ladies of the council, congratulations on pulling out a win. I'm a big guy of sports, so they did a phenomenal job, but let's not forget what it was for. It was for autism, so I think we all did a phenomenal job and went for a great cause. Other than that, please enjoy this nice weather. Have a beautiful weekend, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I'd just like to thank the Girl Scouts, of course, and the older Americans who were here this evening that we honored for being great stewards of our town and helping lead by example. I'd like to also thank the Town Hall volunteers. Every time I come into Town Hall, they're very, very friendly, and they always say hello and talk to you. They're amazing. Congratulations to the boys wrestling team. And I'd like to congratulate all of us as a council for raising almost $3,000 for Autism Speaks at our celebrity bartenders. I also, along with a number of the council members and the mayor, went to Governor Christie's town hall, and he explained the effects of Sandy, gave us some answers on Sandy, but I still believe there is more money from the state that we need to begin or continue fighting for. And I want to thank Senator Menendez for coming in about the flood mitigation and getting us in the flood program. That is tremendously important for us as a town to get into that program, because so many of our areas are now even further into the flood zone, even though our township engineer did a great job of helping get some of them out of the flood zone where there was some wiggle room that we could do that. I also went to opening day of girls softball, and I am just thankful that when I threw out the pitch, I got it somewhere near home plate. That was a great feat for myself. And I went to the senior prom, and the Brick Memorial and the Brick High School National Honor Society puts that on, along with our recreation department, and they just did a fantastic job. Congratulations to all of those who placed in the dance contest. Thank you to Sentimental Journey for coming in and playing amazing, awesome big band era music. It was a really, really great event. And congratulations to the king and the queen of the prom. It was really, really a great event, and I enjoyed myself. Also, just a quick reminder, since the weather is getting nice, beach badges and beach parking passes are for sale over at the recreation office in Civic Plaza. So the beaches will be open this summer. There might be some intermittent disruptions because of the revetment project, but we will have a beach season. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you. I too would like to congratulate our Brook Township High School wrestling team once again for a wonderful season. And I also went to the senior prom with Councilwoman DeYoung and the mayor and our business administrator, and it was a wonderful time. There was about over 100 seniors who dined and danced and had a great time. The National Honor Society students and their faculty advisors and the assistant superintendent of schools was there, Principal Dennis Philippone. They did a really, really wonderful job. As Councilwoman DeYoung said, the Sentimental Journey big band played. They will be having a public performance at Civic Plaza on September 24th for anyone that would like to see them at that time. They are actually led by a Brick resident, Frank Ricchetti, and he works very closely with a Jackson resident, Walt Torrey. I've known them both for several years, and they do a wonderful job. A lot of, they no longer have any members who played with the original big bands, but most of their music is the original scores that's been handed down
over the years from musician to musician. So they really, really are a treat. They did a wonderful job, and I look forward to going back to see them in Civic Plaza in September. And it's in the Cultural Arts brochure. If you haven't picked one up, then I would urge you to do so. And then with regard to Older Americans Month, I find myself very humbled by the presentations that we had this evening, and I'd like to thank Councilwoman Pontorero again for her comments. From our town hall volunteers to our veterans to Ann Hibbard, who was the township's very first recreation director, to my dear friend Krista Greba. I really feel like tonight I stood in the shadow of giants, and it's really, really wonderful and impressive and very, very humbling. As Councilwoman Pontorero said, Krista suffered a very sudden and serious illness right after Thanksgiving and was in the hospital for several months, and I had the opportunity to visit with her. And she never once complained. She always wanted to know what's happening in Brick Township, what's going on with our new mayor. I served for many years on BMAC with Krista, and she would always say to me, when are we going to have another BMAC meeting? When are, people keep asking me. And so even as ill as she was, she was always thinking about her fellow residents, about Brick Township, and about what was going on. So I congratulate all of the older Americans that we honored this month. It was really an honor to participate in this. And thanks for everyone coming out tonight, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Girl Scouts, the senior volunteers, the town hall volunteers. Congratulations to the councilwomen on a great job at Joe's Crab Shack. Also, congratulations to Brick Wrestling Team. And I also did attend the meeting with the governor, and hopefully that the administration will realize that Sandy affected everyone in the town by the loss of ratables, and hopefully they'll come across with something for us. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Councilwoman?
Thank you. I can't thank enough the seniors who came out tonight to receive the honorary award that really is for all of our Brick seniors. And I am so grateful to their help with me on the Mayor's Senior Advisory Committee, because I think we are doing great work, and I hope to continue to do great work. Thank you to the Girl Scouts who came up. I had an occasion to chat with them just prior to our meeting, and they're all young and ambitious, and I promised them if I'm still working when they go to high school, they can have an internship at my office or help me with whatever I'm doing. I love to see young women who are taking an interest in our government, and they all seemed very, very excited. Congratulations to the boys wrestling team. And I also wanted to acknowledge the Jersey Shore Shelter welcomed in public officials on March 25th of this year. So I had an occasion to tour the facility and to see the animals. Right now is kitten season, so if anyone is interested in adopting a kitten or two, this is the season to do it. So if anyone has an interest, they have tons of kittens right now up for adoption. Before you consider buying from a pet store or breeder, please consider adopting locally. I have had so many requests for people asking me about charities that are youth-based. Everybody knows about my love for seniors. A youth-based charity that has an event going on right now is Harbor House. Harbor House takes in abused and homeless youth. I serve on the board of directors as vice president of that organization. I'm going to be sleeping out in front of the shelter in a box. Somebody better take a picture of that, because it's never happening again. Our mayor, John Ducey, is going to grace us with his presence. He will not be able to spend the night only because he has a very important wedding to perform of Mr. Mumlo's daughter the next morning. Son, I'm sorry. And I believe now Councilman Bosman will make an appearance. I'm going to guilt him right into it. If anyone is interested in supporting this project, Sleep Out, I'm sleeping out so that one less youth has to sleep outside. You can go on to the Harbor House website and donate that way, or volunteer to be a sleeper and join me in a box. Other than that, thank you all for coming out tonight, and have a very wonderful evening.
Thank you, Councilman. Do you bring your own box?
No,
You
they
know,
give
they're
me
gonna
one.
supply you with a box?
I told them
Okay.
for me, they better bring a big box. I don't know what they're gonna give me.
Recycle those boxes when you're done.
I'll save it for you.
I'd just like to say one more time about Zumba fundraiser for cancer, and that's for Victoria Brewer. She's 20, lives in Brick, and that's May 18th from 10:30 to 2 o'clock. I hope a lot of people come down. Thanks to the Girl Scouts, the older Americans, the winners of the Joe Crab Shack. I think everybody won.
We're all
The ladies
winners,
all-
Jim.
Raised a lot of money.
The kids
It
are
was
the
a lot of
winners.
fun. The
The
kids
kids
won,
are the ones,
yes. Brick Township High School wrestlers, and I'm glad for the permit fees, finally doing the right thing for the town. I've been wanting to do this since 2012, and various things happened with the storm and everything else happening, and I'm glad this came about like this. That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I know it takes time and effort to get down to these meetings, sit through the meeting, to have your public comments heard, and we all appreciate the time that you take to come down here and speak with us and participate in the meetings in your local government. There are many deserving charities, youth charities, cancer charities, autism charities, but we do have two in town that are very important to the residents of Brick. The first one is Dottie's House. They take in victims of domestic violence and abuse for women and their children, and that's right here in Brick, and also the Visitation Relief Center down on Manalooking Road as well. So if you are looking for a local charity such as youth or Sandy victims or domestic violence victims, or if you have a particular disease or health issue, there are many local charities here in town that you can donate your time, money, items, food, whatever you have that you feel that you can give to help somebody else's life improve. Our next scheduled meeting is for Tuesday, May 20th, 2014. I hope we see you all there. Motion and second to close the meeting, please.
Make a motion?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.